At 52 years old, Dave Chappelle stands as one of the most gifted and fearless comedians of his generation, a man who changed the very shape of comedy itself. But behind the laughter, the fame, and the controversy lies a story of exhaustion, retreat, and quiet pain that few people truly understand. Dave Chappelle was born in Washington, D.C. in 1973 to two professors who taught him to think critically and speak honestly. When his parents separated, young Dave found himself moving between two homes, learning early on what it meant to live in two different worlds. In school, he was shy, but on stage, he found his voice. Comedy wasn't just entertainment, it was therapy. By his early 20s, he was already appearing on national television. His sharp timing, fearless honesty, and ability to turn hard truths into laughter made him a standout. But no one could have imagined how big he would become. In 2003, Chappelle's show burst onto television like lightning in a bottle. The sketches were bold, unfiltered, and painfully honest. He tackled race, politics, and culture with a mix of wit and wisdom that no one else dared to try. Overnight, he became a superstar, but success brought a darkness he didn't expect. The network demanded more shows, more money, more control. Behind the scenes, Dave felt trapped, surrounded by executives who cared more about profit than purpose. The laughter that once gave him life began to feel like a burden. He later said, "You can't get unfamous. You can be misunderstood forever." Then came the moment that shocked Hollywood. At the height of his fame, with a $50 million contract on the table, Dave Chappelle walked away. No warning, no farewell. He boarded a plane and disappeared to South Africa. The media called him crazy. The headlines were brutal. But the truth was simpler. He was exhausted, disillusioned, and desperate to find peace. In later interviews, he explained that fame had made him feel like a product, not a person. He didn't trust anyone anymore. The people around him laughed, but not always for the right reasons. He feared that the very message he wanted to share had been twisted into something else. For nearly a decade, Dave lived quietly, no spotlight, no cameras. Many thought his career was over. But in 2013, he returned to the stage. The world expected jokes. Instead, he gave them truth. His new comedy was deeper, heavier, and often painful. He talked about fame, race, family, and faith with the raw honesty of a man who had survived the machine and come back scarred but wiser. Yet even his return wasn't free of pain. His later specials stirred controversy, some calling them genius, others calling them offensive. Once again, the man who only wanted to tell the truth found himself in the center of chaos. Through it all, he remained unapologetic. "I never quit comedy," he said. "I just stopped letting comedy use me." Today, Dave Chappelle lives on a quiet farm in Ohio with his wife Elaine and their children, far from Hollywood lights. He still performs, still challenges, still makes people laugh, but his eyes reveal a man who has seen the cost of honesty. The price of being real in a world built on illusion. At 52, Dave Chappelle's tragedy isn't one of failure, it's one of survival. A man who reached the top of the world only to realize the view wasn't worth his peace. His story is a reminder that fame doesn't always equal happiness, and genius often walks hand in hand with pain. Because sometimes the hardest thing a man can do is walk away.